it really does feel like Tom Cruise, no joke, feels like whether he thinks he's called by God, whatever Scientology alien he worships, he's called by some higher power to save the movie theaters. And he seems so dedicated to doing it.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
Okay, first off, like, we got to start with Tommy boy, Tommy Cruise, the Maverick himself. This movie,
he's just such a maverick.
Yeah, above everything else, I think what this movie is doing is it's Tom Cruise's own declaration on how he sees himself as an actor, as a movie star, as an action star. You know, there's that scene kind of like after the opening where he's pulled, and this is I guess this is a spoiler discussion, so I don't know. It's not really a type of movie really where like spoilers matter.
I mean,
that much.
there are spoilers.
Yeah, right.
But we'd have to dig pretty deep into our pockets, I think, to get there.
It's not one of those movies where like if you just know certain things that happen at the beginning, it's like
oh, he's a pilot.
Oh, he's a pilot.
Dang.
Yeah,
I was gonna see that. No point now.
But there's a point at the beginning where like they're kind of making comments like, you know, oh, these new planes are gonna eliminate you.
Yeah, you'll be obsolete.
You'll be obsolete, and Tom Cruise is basically like, not if I have anything to say about it. And it's just so obvious, like, it's like on a metatextual level, the movie's saying like, hey, movies are changing. You know, like this type of action star like you who does most of his own stunts and
it's all like very practical.
Does like, non-superhero movies. Like, that's going away, man. It's all being self-automated. It's going to be CGI, and it's almost Tom Cruise like, hold my beer.
Watch
you know
this.
What I mean? Yeah.
They keep saying too, it's not the plane, it's the man in the box.
Yes.
The TV box.
Yeah.
Right.
Tom Cruise is the man in the
He's the
screen.
man in the box, baby.
Yeah, and just like right off the bat, that kicks off the movie, and it just really kind of sets the tone for like what this movie is like Tom Cruise's like thesis as an action star. And there's a lot of really simple but effective commentary on like the old ways versus the new way. You know, like there's this whole thing about like, oh, the enemy has these new planes we can't keep up with, we have older planes. Tom Cruise is an older character, he's an older actor, and this idea like, can he keep up, like can the old compete with the new technology versus analog? Like there's all that stuff going on in the movie, and it's none of it's like highbrow or like super complicated, but it's effective enough to like work.
Just that like the idea that like your personality and like the essence that a human being brings matters more than anything else. This movie is supposed to be fun, like, and I think it accomplished every single goal that it set forth to accomplish, which was like, we want this to be fun, we want people to have like a thrill ride, and it was like extremely thrilling. And it's pulling from a movie that was extremely popular in the 80s, and they're pulling some of these characters back in, but they didn't do it in a way. It was like parts of it were kind of corny, but in like an enduring way. You know what I mean? Where it was like, it was just like, so they didn't they didn't beat a dead horse with like any of the old stuff that was so popular from the original Top Gun.
Yeah.
They just like seasoned it up with just some of the original stuff to kind of like set that hook a little bit.
Yeah, well, they opened with that montage of the planes landing and had that Kenny Loggins song.
I like how they had the Kenny Loggins song. They didn't change it. It was just the same song, and I was like, if it ain't broke, baby.
They didn't keep bringing it back. They just put it at the very beginning, just like to let you know, like, okay, we're getting it out of the way.
Well, and it was like, of course, you hear it and you're like, huh, they brought the song back. But then you're kind of just like, yeah, they brought the song back.
Still
like
works.
They just didn't even. There's almost like a. It's like a beautiful amount of just like not overthinking it. Yeah, it feels like they just didn't overthink it.
That's one of the maxims in the film, which is don't think, do.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We just did that. That was a complete accident.
We tied it all together.
Wow.
I just love that it's a modern blockbuster where the greatest external threats aren't some giant CG monster or motion capture person. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. But like, really the forces working against the characters in the movie are natural forces. Gravity, air, bullets, like time.
And your own
mind, your own limitations. Again, like it's so crazy that there's a scene in the movie where a character just flying straight upwards was one of the most intense things that happened, and it didn't involve some menacing character or any violence. It's just like, can he withstand the force of gravity? Yeah. And that's where all the tension relies on, and I just love that time, gravity, age, mental willpower, like those are all
the fight against your own mind and your own physical limits.
And that's all you needed. And I don't fly planes, but that's relatable, you know, because we're all working against natural forces. And it was just so fun. It was so funny. Again, we just watched it, so I haven't had
really unexpected moments of like comedy.
Oh yeah, it was really funny.
It was like, there were 2 or 3 moments where it was just like, you didn't expect it, but it was really funny.
I would say the only thing that's like holding it back from being like a 5 out of 5 for me is I felt like it got a little monotonous in the first half, where it's like, okay, we're doing this training exercise and we're doing this training exercise, and it kind of spun its wheels a little bit. It's like, okay, I know these two characters hate each other. Oh, they still hate each other. They
also did. It seemed like the mission was in 3 weeks for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They're like, the mission's in less than 3 weeks. And then like, if what would feel like 2 weeks would go by, and they'd be like, but what are we going to do? It's in less than 3 weeks.
So I feel like narratively, the external tension wasn't felt until like the latter half, because there's just so much training, and they did something really smart where in one of the last training exercises, like things got very real and very dangerous very fast. But up to that, it felt all very safe and playful. So you're kind of like, this is fun, but there's no tension. Really.
It really just kind of expanded in all ways on the original movie.
We're going into combat on a level no living pilot's ever seen. Not even him.
This movie really does seem like Tom Cruise is coming to grips with like his mortality and the fact that like he can't do this forever. And I thought they resolved that in a very touching way, because I guess in a very rough way, his kind of character arc is going from someone who's like kind of stuck in this arrested development of he's still a captain. He hasn't advanced in the military. He's single. His life hasn't really changed since his Top Gun days, and he's constantly pushing the limits and risking his life for really no purpose other just than like his own ego. And then through Goose's son, and he really kind of comes to realize he needs to slow down and like save other people and do this for others. And I thought that was like a really, on the film level, it worked, but also like a meta way, it seems like Tom Cruise is like, I'm in the last hurrah kind of my time as an action movie star. And I thought it was cool that like the movie's is in, and he's even acknowledging that like, I can't do this forever.
I thought it was really good. I thought that there was a really cool full circle property to this movie. I thought they honored the old movie without doing it too much. They cut new ground where they needed to. The action was like, nobody does action like Tom Cruise. It's just the way, like, that's just the truth. Nobody does action like Tom Cruise does right now. And it had pretty much everything that you want and nothing you didn't.
I think for right now, kind of everything considered, the fact that like it really reinvigorates my passion for cinema. It's so stinking fun. It's Tom Cruise doing what he does best. It's him raging against the machine, against the state of Hollywood nowadays.
Let me pick a number in my head, and I want to see if it's the same as yours.
I'm just going to let you know, like, I don't really get deep into the like, you know, I don't go like 4.0.
Oh, you're not doing points?
6.3. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well then, all right. This will be easy.
I only do wholes and half. So it's like if it's not a 3, it's a 3.5. If it's not 3.5, it's a 4. You know what I mean? That's how I do it.
I got it then.
But I could be changed. But anyway, like I'm saying, it has a solid enough emotional core.
Yeah.
It's really basic, but it works. It works on a meta level. The action, especially in that last half hour, is just breathtaking in IMAX. So with all that said, I'm going to go 4 out of 5 balls of fire.
We did make that difficult to say.
Yeah, we did. That was a mouthful.